So, you've decided to give motovlogging a go. I imagine that's probably why if you've clicked on this video. Welcome to a new little mini-series of something I've never really sort of done before, which is try to answer all the questions I've had over the years of the way I motovlog. So welcome to a little mini-series on how to motovlog, or well, how I motovlog. So there's going to be a few different videos. We're going to start off with the setups, the type of cameras and stuff like that. Maybe the shooting side of stuff, planning for videos, the editing, the thumbnails, all that sort of good stuff. I'll show you a few little tips and tricks and stuff I've learned along the way. I've been doing it quite a while and I've made all the mistakes. If you are wanting to motovlog or give it a go, or you're just interested in the process behind all these videos you see on YouTube, stick around and I'll give it my best shot. JBL, roll the intro. So as I mentioned, this sort of mini-series will go over a few different stuff, but in this first episode I think we'll talk a little bit about the basic equipment behind motovlogging. But motovlogging is quite a broad term. What does it even mean? It's as simple as it sounds. It's literally the process of taking a camera, putting it on a helmet and speaking to a camera whilst riding a motorcycle. And who would have thought that simple definition could be so confusing and so in-depth? So in this episode we're going to talk a little bit about the initial setup for a motovlogging helmet. Obviously with your bigger YouTubers and stuff like that I imagine you people will watch, you'll see a few people that run 2, 3, 4 types of cameras. They've got off-bike cameras, vlogging cameras, drones, 360 cameras. It'll never end. There's so many different camera angles you can have, but to start initially motovlogging, all you need is an action camera, a microphone and your helmet and you're away to go. So we're going to jump over to my motovlogging setup, which is new for 2026, and I'll show you a little bit of how I get footage and audio that looks a little bit like this. Let's go try find that dam. I reckon that's a good mile away and we don't even know, you know. It's not too bad that, is it? Anyway, let's jump over to the helmet cam. Boom. So you're now in JBL vision. So the first thing we need for a helmet setup is probably a helmet. So this is my wonderful LS2 Dragon in matte carbon. This is my helmet for 2026 and probably for the next couple of years, to be fair. So you'll have seen in my old videos I used to use the AGV Corsa. That was a purely race helmet. This thing inside has literally got padding for the road, comfortable long range padding, sockets for your SENA which I've got on the side, a sundown visor which I will never use but it's got it anyway. One thing I was looking for when looking for a new helmet is it motovlog compatible? Has it got enough space in the mouth area for a microphone? What's the chin like for mounting a camera? How does the visor open? You know, if you've got your camera here and your visor opens central, like this one, have you got enough space to get it around and stuff like that? Anyway, that's the helmet. And the next thing we're probably going to need is a mount for the helmet. So most of the action cameras you'll buy these days do come with a few little mounts and stuff, but it also depends on how you want to mount it on the helmet. If you've seen in my old videos, I used to have a setup where it sort of coming from the side and it was like adhesive onto my helmet. But now a lot of companies, such as this company here, Chin Mounts, make specific mounts molded to your helmet, so they're a bit costly. Motovlogging isn't exactly the cheapest of hobbies. This mount is specifically made for the LS2 Dragon. It's been 3D printed so it molds perfectly, fits in these grooves, and it also leaves enough space for stuff like the vents and opening my visor. So we'll speak a little bit about this mount soon, but let's grab the action camera. So this is the DJI Osmo 4. I'm also filming on one of these right now, which is my B camera. And DJI also have the Action 5, Action 3, 4, 5 and 6. But the Osmo 4 does the job perfectly. And then to go inside the camera, you're going to need a battery and an SD card. So as I mentioned, mounting on the helmet is totally personal preference. If you order from a company like Chin Mounts, sometimes they give you extra mounts to try fit the stuff around. Usually you might just get this bottom section here. And it might be a bit awkward to try and mount it. So I've got this sort of like 2-part setup here and then the DJI magnetic mount here. And it's as easy as taking the mount, clicking it in, pressing the little rubber grommet down so we're solid, and then the DJI just snaps on with its magnetic mount. Always put your SD in before your battery. Snapping the camera on is as easy as that. So one thing I have noticed what a lot of motovloggers overlook is this angle you're looking at right here on the helmet. A lot of people need to realise that if you're wanting this camera to see what your eyes see exactly, you need to line it up so where your eyesight comes out, the camera is also facing. You'll see so many motovloggers with the camera facing at the handlebars or up in the sky. You want that seeing what you see. So this is a brand new Osmo Action 4, straight out of the box, straight set it up, and these are the settings we're given. 1080p, 30 FPS, rock steady. So back in the day, 1080p used to be the dogs. You know, it was HD, the brand new thing, but these days it ain't gonna cut it. So the first thing I would do on these is change that to either 1440p or 4K, preferably 4K, but it depends sort of how powerful your computer is when it comes to editing. 4K footage doesn't look massively different from 1440 compared to what 1440 does from 1080. So it's totally up to you on the hardware side which one you want to use. I personally just shoot between them both, but I think from now on with two Osmos I'm probably going to run at 4K all the time. Let's just quickly change that. So 4K is the resolution, how good the picture looks. 16:9 is the aspect ratio, which is this here. So you want it like that. 4:3 will just make it cropped and look a bit funny. This is sort of one of the more technical sides if you are new to cameras and stuff, which is the FPS down here. Most stuff you're seeing runs at 30 FPS, which is normal, but then you've got sort of 2 or 3 options when it comes to frames per second. You can either go with 24 to give it that really cinematic look, where you've got like a really high picture quality but the frame rate's lower. It just makes your eyes view it more cinematic, as if you're watching a film or something like that. Most films are shot in 24 FPS or at least left in them. You can go up to 60 FPS or 120. So I'm shooting this video in 60 FPS just because it looks pretty smooth. 60 or 120, there's not much difference literally looking at it. So the only reason you would really shoot in 60 or 120 FPS is if you're wanting to slow some shots down. If you do watch the channel, you'll see in a couple of videos of mine I have a few slow-mo riding shots, and this is shot at 60 FPS. But I didn't know that this one records in 120. So basically you can slow that right down to like, I'd say 30% of its actual frame rate to get a really nice slow-mo video. But for now we'll stick it at 4K 60, and then up here this rock steady is basically the in-house gimbal, the sort of smoothness. We'll just leave that on that. So that's your resolution setup and your frame rate. So depending if you want it cinematic or you want the ability to go slow-mo, that chooses your frame rate. And remembering resolution depends if your computer can handle 4K, but there's not much difference between 4K and 1440. Now in the settings tab, there's a few stuff we can do. We can leave it on just the basic mode where it's got like low light and FOV. One thing I would change is change this to ultra wide. That way on the bike you can really see all of the handlebars, and when it zooms the camera out, that 4K footage is really enhanced. It sort of sharpens up the switch gear and stuff like that. If you are feeling a bit ballsy, you can go onto this Pro mode, which is all sorts of little adjustments and stuff. White balance for how blue or red, warm or cold you want your video to look. Color down here. D-log is basically where it flattens out the image so the color looks so rubbish in the camera, but when you get it into your editing software it really allows you to play with the colors, and it's just more something you'll learn along the way. So there's one thing you're probably wondering, where's the microphone? That would be this DJI Mic Mini here. Now a lot of people are using the Mic 3, the Mic 2s because of the superior audio. But if you are on a budget, this is what I use, the Mic Mini. I think you pick it up for £45. If you are to probably get into motovlogging, there's a heap of ways you can do it. Camera wise, you can go with sort of the cheaper Amazon Basics and sort of Chinese Temu cameras. They do the job, but it's more for reliability, battery issues and stuff like that. One thing you're going to want is if you're out on the bike motovlogging, the last thing you want to be doing is worrying about your camera equipment. Constantly worrying about, is it recording, has it corrupted? I've been there, I've done it, it's not fun. Oh, is the GoPro frozen again? What a surprise. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reality of motovlogging. We've lost access to the map and my GoPro's frozen. Sound. Takes the fun away from your day, so you really want equipment that you just know will just work. Hence why I'm now on the DJI Osmos. Another good thing with the DJI Osmos is with the wireless mic, it's wireless. So this mic here is currently connected to the Osmo that you're on, which would usually be on the helmet. So all I would do to Motovlog is take this mic off. It has a magnetic strip on and I just stick it inside my helmet. That's it. That's my microphone. Turn the camera on, the microphone works, it's connected to the camera. Comes with this little wind muff as well, so you got that wind protection. But if you are wanting to use one of the lavalier mics, the ones that are wired, there's a few ways to do it. If you're on GoPro, you can use the little adapter box, which I did used to use on the Hero 7. And I think DJI also allow for that with a little media box on the side. As for like cheaper Chinese stuff and Amazon ones, I'm not sure how they would work. But if you are wanting to start motovlogging to do it properly for a YouTube channel, I would save up and invest in probably a DJI or an Insta360 or something like that. There's nothing wrong with having the cheaper cameras if you're wanting to just capture riding footage for safety, for example. But if you're wanting to make this sort of a hobby and you want to create content around it, I'd invest in something a little bit more expensive. So that's the helmet and the mic setup. That's as easy as it is. No wires, no fiddling about or anything like that. The DJI stuff's completely wireless. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Like I say, a nice little steady intro into how I set the camera up for the helmet, how we put it on, and the settings we use on the camera to get going. In the next episode, we'll put the camera on the bike and we'll talk a little bit about setting up a B camera, syncing them up, setting the audio up and stuff up, and sort of how we plan a ride, what we're going to talk about, how to sort of stick to that and make the vlog interesting instead of just talking to a camera. A lot of that does come in post on the editing side of stuff, but on the second one we'll talk a little bit about just getting on the bike and setting everything up so we can just record and ride away and not have to worry about anything. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if it has helped you, I'll give you a little bit of an insight into the motovlogging side of stuff. Drop me a like down there, it does help the channel, and if you are in sort of the first hour or day of the video, scroll along on the like section. There should be a little hype button, gives me a few points or something. Hope that helps, and I'll see you in episode 2. Ride safe, I'm out.